Welcome to the Hustle Skirt Podcast, the show that brings you economic equity for everyone every day with your host, Debra Gould. Yes, I am Debra Washington Gould, President and CEO of Debra Gould and Associate Inc. DGAI is a New Orleans-based management consulting and performance management business founded in 1996. Y'all want to know something? April of this year, I celebrated 27 years as an entrepreneur, a woman-owned business and minority-owned business. I am so excited. This trailblazer is making it happen, and I thank my clients and my partners for the opportunity to be of service. So today, you're here because of Hustle Skirt Podcast. And so before I flip forward to talk to you more about the mission of Hustle Skirt, just do me a favor. With Debra Gould and Associate Inc., please feel free to visit my website at www.gouldassociates.com, where you can learn more about my professional services in management consulting, facilitating, executive coaching and training, and business motivational keynoting. More about Hustle Skirt Podcasts to promote, communicate, and amplify the influence of women like my guests here today. So we're going to mix it up with entrepreneurs, C-suite, and higher executive within university, the educational institution, corporation, nonprofit organization. So with that being said, you will hear from our guests and our purpose. You will hear stories of empowerment, overcoming obstacles and challenges, succeeding in various settings in their organization or businesses. So don't be surprised, without a doubt. My guest today, Dr. Ariel Mitchell, she did not live this long and this strong to be put on the back shelf. Her brilliance, her talents, her skills, her service is making a difference in the community with families and children. And so you're going to learn more. So let me share her credentials with each of my guests watching or listening to the Hustle Skirt Podcast. Dr. Ariel Mitchell, LPCS, LMFT, RPT. More of her credentials. Dr. Ariel Mitchell is a licensed professional counselor, supervisor, licensed marriage and family therapist, registered play therapist, supervisor, and certified school counselor. Dr. Mitchell is the program director and professor at counseling at Xavier University of Louisiana, and the owner and director of Cognitive Solutions, LLC, a consulting, counseling, and mediation practice specializing in child and family development. Cognitive Solution, LLC. Again, that's the Child and Family Development Center. I'm going to give my guest today an opportunity, with her permission, to share the phone, her fax, her email, and her website, so you can learn more offline and how to reach out to Dr. Ariel Mitchell. Give me a chance, everyone, to welcome her to the Hustle Skirt Podcast today. Hello, Ariel.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for that beautiful welcome. I really appreciate your time and I appreciate you having me here today. Thank you.
I tell you, you have some serious credential. And if you would just share as we engage conversation to let our audience know something about those acronyms And also, we're just going to kick it off. You already know that I love to ask my guests questions. This way, those listening and watching would have an opportunity to go back and listen to all of it, some of it in the middle, and learn more about your services. So let's go ahead and start this interview. First, what's the story behind your business or career aspiration? Tell us about what motivated you about Cognitive Solution LLC to see that need in the community.
So what's interesting just about my career trajectory in general is that that motivation goes hand in hand for both my practice and why I teach graduate studies at Xavier University in the counseling program. In my studies and becoming a licensed professional counselor and licensed marriage and family therapist, one of the things that I recognized was that there were not a lot of helpers that looked like me, right? they so I felt disconnected almost to the idea of people really truly understanding what it meant to be a Black woman or a person of color in the United States of America, because we have a very different history and a very different perspective than a lot of other cultures. And so that was one impetus that set me on that journey of, okay, in order to be an effective helper, right, to the community that I feel like needs us the most, then I have to dig into the trenches, right? I have to be a part of that change. And a part of my master's degree studies, when I was studying to be a counselor, I developed a love for academia, right? I started to teach more and helping to mentor people who were seeking to do this type of work in the community. And I decided, you know what, I'm not going to stop with just doing the work in the community. I want to be a part of cultivating more people who are ready to do that work, who want to do that work and engage in this type of fulfilling work in life. And so I decided to go back to school, get my doctorate, and become a counselor educator. And a big part of that also was when I was in school, there were no professors who looked like me, right? There were no mentors for me available that I felt like I could connect or identify with. And I think that identification is an important aspect of anyone's dreams or goals. Sometimes we don't know what we can accomplish when we don't see people who look like us
Absolutely.
those things. And so for me, it just kind of all snowballed. It was like, yes, I want to do this. I want to be a part of giving back and helping the community and helping those people who I think need it most. But I also want to be an example that you can achieve this too. This doesn't stop with me, right? So if I'm opening doors, I'm opening them for the next generation to come through and go way further than I ever have in this career, in this practice. So it's a part of that motivation of just wanting to see our community and society grow bigger and better than what I could have even imagined or envisioned.
Woo! Purpose driven life. Dr. Ariel Mitchell, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for identifying that many a times in your master and doctorate program, there wasn't people that look like you. So you was willing to embrace change and step forward and say, I must be the change I want to see in the world.
Mhm.
Thank you for your contribution. Let's keep it going. Before I move on to my next question, how can my audience reach you
Yes. So
for
they
your
can.
services and to be mentored and inspired? But mainly, how can they connect other than knowing Cognitive Solution LLC? How can they reach you?
Yes, ma'am. So a couple of ways, and I'll just give them all the ways, right? So one thing is our website. It's Cognitive Solutions LLC.org. And on there, there's the contact information for our practice, for myself and the other clinicians who are involved with Cognitive Solutions. If you are looking to contact me directly, you can contact me at A Mitchell, Mitchell, at the letter C, solutions, LLC.org. And if you're interested in maybe pursuing higher education and getting your master's in counseling and looking at Xavier University of Louisiana as an opportunity, you can contact me there at amitch11@xula.edu.
You know, I'm going to ask you to repeat this one more time before we end our short interview today, but let's engage our audience in their watching and listening a little bit more about Dr. Ariel Mitchell, Cognitive Solution LLC. What was your mission at the start of your company business? I heard a little bit of the motivation when you were in your master's program and what you was able to bring forward to say, I have to do more in this work, and you went after your doctorate degree. But the mission, say some more about that. How far is your reach with families and children?
Absolutely. So I guess the mission in general started out as this idea. We always talk about a healthy society, right? It's what it takes to have a healthy society. I am of a mindset and a strong belief that if you want a healthy future society, we have to invest in our children and we have to invest in healthy families. And so a large part of the issues we see are within family dynamics or in children where they're unable to express or self-regulate or identify, right? And some of those issues behaviorally and even emotionally that we see, a lot of it is just kind of trauma that's been passed along from generation to generation, and we consider it normal, right? We tend to normalize trauma a lot, especially in our community. And so, in recognizing that if we want a healthy society, we have to start with making the people within it healthy and knowing that the children are really our future. It sounds cliche, right? But the children are our future. And so, for our society to be healthy and functioning, we have to focus on their health. And so, me coming from that mindset, it really created the focus of my practice in saying that yes, we work with individuals, we work on a wide array of concerns or issues that individuals may bring into therapy, but I did additional training to become a registered play therapist so that I can work with those small children within family systems, because that's where it has to start. We have to invest, especially in our community, in creating and developing healthy children. And so that is really the mission, and what I carry through in life, in practice, even in education, and also recognizing the social advocacy, you know, aspect of what I do, right? Teaching children how to advocate for themselves, teaching children about healthy boundaries, both relational, social, familial. All of those things are important to developing healthy kids into healthy adults. And so that's really the mission and what I focus on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lord, for planting that mission, that seed. Thank you for your contribution once again. Got one more question for you, Dr. Mitchell. At what point did you look at your business or career and consider it a success?
So that is a loaded question, let me tell you. So I think the first thing I would say in response to that question is that we have to really check our idea, or what we think success is, right? And I know that looks different for everyone, and we have to be open to what that looks like. I am a firm believer that success for me looks different given the stage of my life, given the day of my life, right? It just depends. As a mom, and a wife and a career, all of these things going on and balancing, sometimes success is me giving all that I have to give, and I still didn't get to where I wanted to be, but I felt successful, right? Because I gave it my all. So I think in my business, it's the same way. You won't always have the years that end the way you wanted, and sometimes you'll have years that supersede what you wanted it to be. But at the end of the day, I define the success on what I'm doing, right? I define the success
Yeah,
as
you're right. Yeah, you're
mission,
right. Yeah,
right?
you're
And
right.
so, am I fulfilling my purpose? Am I doing the greater work and engaging in the greater good, and being that agent for change. And so for me, if I've impacted other people, then I consider what I'm doing a success. And I think that way in my business and also as a professor. When students tell me that, they've learned so much from me and they have questions and they want to talk to me more and they appreciate me, when they share those things with me, I feel like what I'm doing, I'm being successful in that space.
That's awesomeness. That is great feedback for that young generation to share that with you, that their thirst, they're hungry for more knowledge that you have to share, give them more information. Well, believe it or not, our time is up. But do me this favor, please. One more time, tell us, how can others contact you?
Yes, so you can reach me via the website, cognitivesolutions.llc.org, or via email, a Mitchell at the letter C solutionsllc.org. Or if you're looking for information about graduate studies, AMITCH11 at xula.edu.
Thank you, Dr. Ariel Mitchell. As we close out this particular Hustle Skirt podcast, just remember the objective is to empower you to speak power, embrace change. We just heard from Dr. Mitchell. She's a change agent. And the way she describes success, we can really connect with that. What success means to each one of us is different. And I think this extraordinary woman just put it out there for us to really just embrace it. So it would help you in your own vision, your mission, your purpose. All we ask on the Hustle Skirt podcast, just get fired up. Did you not hear Dr. Ariel Mitchell passion for her work, the importance of the body of work that she brings every day to her students, to family, and her therapy? Thank you again, Ariel.
Thank
And
you.
do me a favor. I know many of my folks watching and listening to this particular Hustle Skirt podcast interview today. Just make sure to visit my website at www.persistencelane.com, where you can watch this interview with Dr. Ariel Mitchell many, many times. But do this for me, subscribe to the Hustle Skirt so that you will have an opportunity, whether it's from the website or going to any of the different platforms from iHeartRadio, iTunes, just to name a few, on the persistentlane.com. And while you're at it, if you found value in this interview with Dr. Ariel Mitchell, Cognitive Solutions LLC, give us a rating on iTunes, or just simply tell a family, a friend, or neighbor, or student that I was listening to Dr. Ariel Mitchell. She's a professor at Xavier University. And also, she's doing so wonderful in her business, Cognitive Solution LLC. So just remember where you heard it from. Hustle Skirt Podcast host, Debra Gould. Dr. Mitchell, until we meet again, make yourself a great day. On purpose. Bye-bye.